This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Canada. I am here with Alexi Bracey. Since 2001, she has been empowering women to maintain their memory and independence as they approach their wisdom years, while helping many to bounce back after a cancer diagnosis. I am joined with the coach, educator, chef, president of the Whole Health app. Alexi, thanks so much for joining us here today.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Let's start off a little bit about yourself. Over 2 decades, you've acquired vast amounts of knowledge in plant-based and diagnostic nutrition, training in hypnotherapy, healthy environments, and transformational coaching. This passion for mental and emotional well-being really began for you personally with a diagnosis that would take you down a path that would be life-changing. Share with me a little bit how your story began.
Well, everybody has that one date that they remember in their life, a marriage or a date of a birthday, but sometimes it's not something very pleasant. And I'll never forget the phone call that came 5 minutes after 9, and the voice at the other end said, "You have cancer. We want to book you for surgery." Of course, dead silence, shock. And I knew in my heart of hearts then I was going to beat it. I didn't know how, but I just quietly said, "Thank you." And I hung up the phone. And 23 years ago, the availability of the internet is not what it is today. So I spent hours at bookstores and libraries, and the research did change the trajectory of my life. I was a traditional chef at the time, and the raw food movement was a really hot item. So I changed chef hats. And then based on the knowledge that I acquired, the research, physical, mental, emotional, physical systems are all related. And I have continued to study and learn from a holistic standpoint, getting to the root cause of whatever your physical health challenge is. And I've helped many, many people in various capacities. I've worked at wellness centers, at the Holistic School of Nutrition in Canada, and just across the board. And I absolutely love what I do.
I mean, your story is great. Basically, it's a very personal story. Education, information moved a lot slower back then. Now with the internet, it's great. Webster's definition of holistic is a belief that the parts of something are interconnected and can be explained only by reference to the whole. Is our physical, mental, and emotional well-being all linked together? And is that something that you learned early on?
Absolutely. And I've learned more about it because more research has been done. Like, take, for example, a tree. Whatever the tree yields, the fruit, the leaves are cancer, diabetes, heart disease. But what is fed is the roots, whether it's unresolved emotional issues, poor nutrition, mold, parasites, lack of sleep. So that's all mental and emotional and physical.
If we are lucky, most of us will age into our golden years. Can the quality of life in those years be improved with some proactive steps instead of reactive? And is this really kind of the mission of your conscious transformation coaching?
Oh, without a doubt, because it all starts at the very beginning in infancy and into teenage years and adulthood. Like, for example, the leading cause of leukemia and brain cancer in children, because the toxicity, where did the toxicity come from? Unknowingly from the mother. So, we're toxic beings because of the environment we live in, the food we eat, the air we breathe. So we have to start early on. And unfortunately, our world has become more toxic as the years go by.
Let me ask you this. As we all age, a word we soon become familiar with, unfortunately, is dementia. The stats show there are over 55 million people worldwide living with dementia. They say this number will almost double every 20 years. This is something that you have witnessed personally. Can you share why your focus went there?
Well, I was freelancing at a nursing home, and it was lunchtime, and the residents in the one dining room were animated, having a lively conversation. And in the other dining room, about 24 women seated at tables of 4, dead silence. We had to cut up the food, and I didn't understand what we were doing. Some of these women had to be fed, some had to eat with the food cut up, and some were just feeding themselves like a 3-year-old. But There was no eye contact, no social interaction. And some of these women were only in their 50s, and it broke my heart.
Wow, that is very hard. You say dementia can be prevented, stopped, maybe even reversed. Research shows that 50% of the world's population will die of neurological disorders as dementia. As you have seen, I mean, this can be heartbreaking for not only the person, but everyone that witnesses. Is this something that really will affect everyone?
It will. And again, it's lifestyle habits, just like cancer or heart disease. But probably two really, well, there's a number of drivers for dementia prevention. And one of them is glyphosate, the active ingredient found in Monsanto's Roundup, because it interferes with digestion, it interferes with the production of serotonin in your gut, and your brain needs serotonin through the night to detoxify. So if you're not sleeping because of lack of serotonin, these toxins are going to stay in your brain.
So prevention is key, like any other disease out there. Anyone can be affected by this disease. Yet the stats show that women are 3 times more at risk. As a Thriving As You Age coach, you show women 50 plus in age that they can lay a foundation for a youthful brain. Is that the case?
That is very true. And the reason women have a more increased propensity to dementia is because of hormonal changes. That's the driver right there.
So definitely they're more affected by that. I'd like to touch on a few of the steps that we can kind of educate the viewers out there on things they can do. We've heard that you are what you eat. You taught plant-based food classes there in Canada at a nutrition school. You were a chef at a wellness facility. Is our menu and a healthy lifestyle really paramount to our health?
Absolutely paramount, but most people unfortunately think they eat a healthy diet, and is far from the truth. You need a whole foods plant-based diet, because plant-based diet has none of the research shows that it causes disease. It's the other way around, because of the toxins and chemicals we feed our farmed animals. So definitely plant-based, because it's real food. If you think of it, animals in the wild don't eat dead food. They don't barbecue. They don't cook. They kill the animal and they eat it, or they eat grass and they eat and whatever they can forage in the farmer's field. So definitely diet is very paramount.
Wow. So if you are what you eat, you want to eat live food, not dead food. You're experienced in acid alkaline diets, detox programs, gluten, dairy-free, sugar-free menus. Are these and more the areas that you can help others in your coaching? And can you kind of customize a plan for each person that you work with?
We'll definitely customize a plan, because we're not one size Barbie fits all dolls. And you may be lacking in one component. You may have heavy metals, may have mold, you may not be sleeping. So it's definitely customized. And there's just so many factors that contribute to it. Just like there's so many factors that contribute to a smooth running engine in your car. It's not just this or that or whatever. So, a balanced overall assessment is what I do in order to put people on the program that works best for them.
I mean, not only what we put in our bodies, but what is around our bodies. You have done many home inspections that reveal unfavorable surroundings. Can our environment impact a person's health?
Absolutely. And one of the key drivers, again, is electromagnetic frequencies, 5G now, but the bedroom is supposed to be electronic free, period. You don't watch Netflix on your iPad. You don't have your cell phone beside you and checking for emails every half hour. Make sure the curtains are totally dark and drawn. No electronics in the bedroom. And your alarm clock, get a wind up at the dollar store, because it's emitting that blue light that's very toxic. Once again, because your brain detoxifies when you're sleeping. So no electromagnetic frequencies.
Oh my, I would be afraid to find out what you'd find in my bedroom. It doesn't sound like I have a healthy environment.
Well, you just start with one thing at a time. You don't just do everything at once, just slow steps.
I think it's important for people to be aware, and that's why I love educating my viewers out there. Back when you began your journey, technology was evolving the internet. We now have apps right in our hand that can educate us 24/7. How does the Whole Health app bring it all together, and share what that really is?
Well, most people, in order to go to a website, have to go to their computer or to check emails. I mean, we have the ability now on your cell phone, which makes it more convenient to go to the app to download whatever. We use apps all the time. We use Google Maps. We check our telephone bill. We check the ingredients on something. We check on how many calories we've consumed. Everything is more available. There's lots of podcasts on the app. So it's just a lot more convenient.
So, your app, are people able to download that? And basically, is that regardless of what phone system they have?
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether you have a smartphone or an iOS. Just go to the App Store, the appropriate one for the other phone, and download it, and you're off and running. I offer courses on there. Lots of Q&As. There's a free quiz on there. Are you at risk for dementia? Just to open people's eyes and think, oh my gosh, I never thought of that. So it's another free education platform.
That is fantastic. So, with an easy app for people to download, you address belief systems, improve lifestyle habits, all through coaching, consultation, and online education. How do people get started with you? How do they contact you? Is there an initial consultation that takes place?
Well, initially, we'll just chat very quickly just to determine what it is you're looking, and then, I can do an in-depth, and I send out a questionnaire to determine, what are the weak parts and what we want to focus on. Some additional tests may be required that your regular family doctor doesn't do, to see if you've got heavy metals in your hair and your body, what your nutritional status is. There's just a whole bunch of other, to make it very thorough, is you can't forget to one or two and hope for the best. Just, I like to be very thorough.
Great. So it's easy for folks to reach out in that way. I mean, your drivers are happiness, gratitude, and a positive mindset, which you live, teach, and share daily. You believe you can live long and die young. Is this rewarding work for you?
Rewarding, that is very rewarding, and more so now that I'm focusing on happiness, because a recent study was done worldwide and the happiness levels have really plummeted. Canada's 15th, the United States is 18th. We've got mental and emotional, to say nothing of physical challenges. There's suicides, stress, anxiety, depression. It's so, if you're going to be happy, you're going to be healthy, because you're going to have a focus a focus. And so happiness really feeds my soul. And so part of happiness is in conjunction with gratitude. And what I do is I approach strangers at the dog park, at the grocery store, at the ATM machine, and I say, can I put a chuckle in your heart? And by that I mean, can I share a joke? Why a joke? Behind every face, there is a story. Maybe you lost a loved one, maybe died. So I have a captive audience. You laugh out loud, it feeds my soul, it lowers cortisol, the stress hormone, and raises the endorphins, the hormones in your brain. And laughter has been shown to promote longevity. And you may think about it all day and go home and share with a loved one and say, you know what, I met this crazy woman at the dog park. She shared a joke, but it was really good. And so it continues, and then you're sharing with somebody else, or you can share with a colleague. So I just do it to people all the time, and everybody laughs and everybody appreciates it. And it just changes your mood, your stress level, feel good hormones. It's a bonus all around.
So we just need to smile a lot more. Obviously, everything that you do, the underlying mission really is happiness. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is her contact information right there on your screen. You can find her on LinkedIn also, where you can learn more about what she provides. Book your free session or take the free dementia quiz that she provides for folks out there. She has combined her knowledge of health and food into a lifestyle that celebrates radiant health, endless energy, and a symbiotic relationship with mind, body, and spirit. And she can do the same for you. Once again, contact the aging and brain fitness expert, Alexi Bracey, because happiness matters. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.